find, even for myself, it transformed my own life in handling major upsets that I was able to just move through so easily without having the carnage and the baggage. See, a lot of people, they carry all this baggage, like a backpack, a heavy backpack rolling through life. And this helps you let it go. In fact, write these 3 words down, let it go. Okay, let's start giving you some more technique. Back to working with someone else. If you're testing someone else, any problem with your shoulder that I shouldn't test it, or your arm? So what you do is you have an arm fairly low. You get more leverage on it with the elbow locked, the hand relaxed, and it's not a strength test. So you let the person know it's a relaxed hold. Now, I put the weight of my hand and then gradually increase my pressure. So a little more for about 2 seconds, and I feel a hold. Now, you want to see what it looks like when it's switched off. So what I'm going to do is just have you say, my name is George.
My name is George.
And hold as I push. So when you tell a lie or something that isn't right, your body says, well, that's not true. That's a stressor. My name is Emma.
My name is Emma.
And there you go. So now we have the on and off. So that's one way you can do it. There's other ways, but for simplicity, we'll just do that tonight. Now I want you to think of, is there any situations you're finding a little stressful right now? Okay, well just think of that and hold as I push. Now while she's thinking of it, it switches off saying we have energy blockage. And that's the context of all this. When you have energy blockage, and we have these acupuncture meridians, we have different energy systems throughout the body. When there's a blockage, a stress, it then ends up being that your stress response is switched on instead of your health response, and it lowers your energy, it lowers your thinking, and it ends up in upsetting emotions. So is there emotion around that? You can pinpoint?
Yeah, there's indecision.
Indecision, okay. So now what I'm going to do is while you're thinking of that, and she had a switched off response, I'm asking what technique to do. So I'm going to start with beginning and end points. So thinking of the stressor, she's weak. Beginning and end points would be helpful? Oh, yes. So this is one of the things we teach in the class. It's real simple. There are these acupressure points on the face that go into the meridian system and remove energy blockage, create flow. So these are what basically are used in EFT, but we show you how to streamline it and get to the right point. So what she's going to do is while you're thinking of the stressor, I want you to touch right here under the eye and see if that clears it. Oh, and it does. That's the most common point right there. Callahan, Dr. Roger Callahan that did this, he wrote a book called The 5-Minute Phobia Cure. And in there he says tap here. And you can tap on a point for yourself, but we're going to have her now think about the indecision. Now, before you do that, let's put a number on it. So if you're like, I'm stressed about this at the highest, 10, totally nothing, clear, I'm a 1. Where's your certainty?
8.
8.
Yeah.
Okay, so now while you're tapping here, just tap and notice what you are thinking, what you're telling yourself, and breathe deeply. For you that are watching, do this whatever stressor you have, and this is probably going to help. It's the most common point. Just notice what you're telling yourself, and breathing slowly and deeply from the belly. Notice the emotions around it. And just allow the emotion to be there as you observe it. Now notice the body sensation, where you're holding tension, and keep tapping. You might even slow down a little bit on the tapping as you're tapping with the fingertips, 2 fingers. Notice what other people might be telling you about this, and just observe that. Again, just breathing slowly and deeply. Okay, and now notice how you want to feel about this. And how would you like to feel about this? Like certainty?
Yeah, certainty and direction.
Direction, okay. So feel a sense of certainty and surround that whole situation now with certainty. Like your body will reveal, your mind will reveal the correct path, the correct direction. And feel like you're now opening up those gates to allow that to occur and flow. Okay, and then drop the hands and arms down. And Let's just see if we made a shift. First on the body, think about the situation again. You got it? Hold as I push. Wow, now that's strong. What number is it at this point? It was an 8 before.
Down to a 6.
Down to a 6, okay. So there's a little more. We're going to look at some other techniques we can do on this, but that was you feel, well, you're stronger and you feel more clear, okay?
More grounded in it.
Okay, grounded. Okay, now I can always ask the body, and we show you all these different techniques. Let's ask a few others. Okay, so let's ask temporal tapping would be helpful. No. The emotional stress release points on the forehead would be helpful. Yes. So that's where, rather than guessing, let their body tell you what it needs. That's what we love about this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch the forehead very lightly, just like this. So I'm touching very lightly on the forehead. Now you could do this on yourself with whatever stressor you've got going on. Now let's go first into a very relaxed place. Just breathing slowly and deeply, feeling your body deeply relaxing into the table. And wherever you're holding tension, just let that go. Now, when you think about the situation, are there any past situations that pop up?
Not past situations, but frustration, because in the past I've always been very decisive.
Ah, okay. So you're noticing indecision now, indecisiveness? Okay. So focus on this and just notice the emotion of indecisiveness. Now the key in how this technique works is you are just simply relaxed, touching lightly on the forehead, very lightly, not rubbing, and then you're noticing. So just observe the indecision. Allow it to be there, just like it's a cloud going by, and you're just watching it float by. And then also, let's have you notice what you're telling yourself about this situation. And the person can talk about, if you're doing this with someone else, they can talk about it out loud, or it's okay to just keep it to themselves. So you're free to just say anything you want or just let it go. And just observe that. Are there any other emotions that come up, like fear or anxiety?
More frustration, because I keep telling myself, you know, I have to make the decision right now. You know, I have to make it right now, and if I change my mind, that's bad or wrong or something.
Okay, so just observe that. So frustration, just allow that to be there and observe it. See, they found in research that if you can be with an emotion for 90 seconds and just experience it and be with it, it evaporates like sun on wet pavement. It just moves, and that's the thing. You're allowing things to flow and let go, and that's what releases the blockage. So just notice that frustration. And let me know when you're complete with that. Just continue to breathe slowly and deeply and just observe whatever's there. And sometimes something else will bubble up, like another emotion. So just observe that if that shows up. So what are you observing now?
Now I see that, you know, I don't have to make a final decision right now. And when I do, it's not going to be an ultimatum in a way, that there's still freedom to
Oh,
move.
yeah. So you can always pivot.
Right.
You're going in one direction.
Never stuck.
Self-correct.
Yeah.
This isn't a life sentence. Okay, when you make this decision, that's it.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, good. So you have some freedom around that now. Huh? Good. So again, how would you like to feel about this? Mentioned decisive.
Peaceful, decisive, secure.
Okay. Fantastic. Breathe those feelings in now. Feel security, decisiveness, your direction, peace. Surround that with all those feelings and breathing them in, flowing through your body, and then visualize yourself moving forward, carrying those empowering emotions. And let me know when you feel complete.
Yep.
All right. So when you go back to your number, what would you say you are now? Before you said you were down to a 6. Where are you at now? 1 being total peace and equanimity.
A 4.
A 4. So there's still more action on this.
Right.
Let's see how you test again. So thinking of the situation. Yeah, still wrong. Strong. Now let's see what we have asking. Further balancing is needed on this. It says for now, no. So that, at least this issue, you've got energy moving on it, and now it's just time to take the actions that will work.
And integrate.
And integrate. Okay, great.